What is happening, YouTube? This game was more stressful, and this is like one of the games that you would really hate to actually watch because in the first half, the Clippers got hot. They did their thing. By halftime, the Suns caught up. Third and fourth quarter, the Suns pretty much they finished off pretty well. And the most common thing is it's not all about how you start, it's all about how you finish. And this is pretty much the worst ways to, play a sports game in general, or anything in general. Like, you start off good and then you just blow a good amount of chunks of the leads. And many fact, many factors definitely caused, um, this game to lost. Um, At least we did steal one of the Phoenix Suns home court win. So, we're 1-1. So that is some, I guess, quote unquote optimism right over there. But I'm definitely displeased, however, because I felt this game was very winnable. There were just so many things so many like rotational fix that could have been done. And also, obviously, our shots doesn't fall, but that's really like that's something that you cannot control. But there are a lot of other things that could have been controlled, and we could have won a game. And it all stems from the points I've been making, especially from yesterday's video. Yesterday, I said the Clippers won, and the players did our thing, but I was still very critical on Tyron's Lue's very incredibly small ball rotations. And one point I also made is um, Robert Covington. Man, this guy still gets DNPs. And supposedly Ty Lue's going to save him for the playoffs. It's the playoffs, man, and he still got DNPs? That is just purely like blasphemy. One props I will say is I guess Marcus Morris isn't playing, but at the end of the day, you should not just be considered to be a good coach just because you make like the most common sense decision and not to play Marcus Morris, who's been pretty much bonkers this year, especially in terms of defensive defensive things and rebounding, and you pretty much purely have to rely on his jump shot. But you still cannot get Robert Covington some minutes. And Robert Covington, in my opinion, I would go as far to say I would start him over Nico Batum. Nico Batum, I think it's kind of that time to kind of like slide him more of the Iguodala slash Udonis Haslam type role, like play him like maybe bench minutes and all that, and maybe give more of the minutes to the main minutes to Robert Covington. Because Robert Covington, he is a veteran, but he's pretty much one of the best defenders on the Clippers roster at the moment. And he did very good one-on-one defensive assignments against guys like Luka Doncic. Rocco would have helped so much for this game. I know Torrey Craig would not have been going crazy. Kevin Durant, Booker, all that. Like, nah, they wouldn't be scoring as much. But anyways, Kawhi Leonard, of course, he did his job. 31 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals. He was dominating. Like, Kawhi was just showing pure domination, swishing threes, kicking in the mid-range. Ty Lue really had to spoil the masterclass. Um, I mean, I'm not trying to bash Ty Lue personally, but just the decisions, like how he managed the rotations, been oh man, it's like if you watch the game, you would definitely understand my type of point of view, and I'm sure a lot of fans would agree. Ivica Zubac, Ivica Zubac, he had a pretty bad game. I'm not gonna lie to you. He missed a lot of shots. He had, more turnovers. Rebounding was not as much as not as strong as compared to like how we would want him to be. Usually, we want Zubac to have like a double digits in rebounding, but he only got 6 rebounds. And defensively, he definitely got scored on in a pick and roll. Um, I mean, considering how Ivica Zubac is more of a like a traditional big, he would get cooked at times on defense. But like all the other games, he actually was actually like respectable in terms of guarding the pick and roll defense. It's just this game was more of Zubac's bad game in general. So, but Zubac majority, like I would say 80%, or yeah, I'll go as far as say 90% of the times he played, he usually plays pretty good. But just this game was an actual bad game. Trusting that he's going to bounce back. Russell Westbrook. Westbrook did everything possible to help us win his game. I mean, obviously he to keep us in game. Obviously we didn't win, but he did whatever he could. 28 points. He shot very efficiently. He was driving to the rack aggressively. He was even hitting threes pretty good. Went to the line. 5 assists. Um, 5 rebounds. He really did his thing, and he got 2 blocks. Like he he emerged to a two-way guard. Um, this Russell Westbrook is like the series I'm talking about. Anyways, it's kind of like more like a Washington Wizards Russell Westbrook, or yeah, I say Washington Wizards Westbrook, but with a better free throw. This game it was a little bit even some OKC Russell Westbrook, since he was actually scoring the ball pretty well and he was hitting threes. Last game was more of a lockdown defender, a certified dimer and rebounder. This game was just more of a Russell Westbrook that is scoring the ball more. Um, he just like he really did his thing. Simple as that. Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, he started off pretty hot. He set the tone. Later on, he went cold, missing a. He kind of missed a fair amount of shots. Defensively, he was like I guess he was a little bit more on the neutral side. He did get scored on a good amount of times by Devin Booker. He got a decent 2 assists and 2 rebounds, which is meh, not really like not the best, of course. Um, Mason Plumlee, that man only got a whopping 2 rebounds, man. 2 rebounds. Last game he did really good in terms of rebounding and scoring, but this game, Plumlee, he only went to the free throw line. Only got 2 rebounds. Was getting cooked by pretty much the Phoenix Suns starters. Simple as that. Um, there were many factors. There was, our bigs like getting cooked by the Phoenix Suns guards, and also those ridiculous small ball lineups. But anyways, let me finish my player by player um, analysis. Bones Highland. Bones Highland. He started off struggling, but then he had some promising strides in the third quarter. Um, he he did not hit any threes, but he had some strong takes to the baskets, and went to the line. 2 rebounds, and he got 1 block. Bones Highland, in my opinion, I think he's a better defender than what people credit him for. Am I saying that Bones Highland is a Patrick Beverly type defender? He's a good defender? Absolutely not. Far from it. But, a lot of people think Bones Highland is just I don't know, like he's just, like you're just playing 4-on-5 on defense, which is, I would personally, would disagree a decent amount of times. Sometimes, yeah, but, like, definitely not as much as what people make it out to be. Terrence Mann, dude shot perfect. And he did, Like he did what he could on defense. Definitely kind of like did this thing on Booker at times. Um, Lower rebounding night. Um, he got more fouls, which was unfortunate. Um, would be nice if we see him get 30 minutes at least, um, but again, what like it was just so many obvious things that Ty Lue could do. Norman Powell, um, he did a good thing and drawing fouls. Um, he started off pretty kind of like rusty, but he kind of finished off with 4 for 11, a solid 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Um, he put 12 points, pretty solid. But the main thing is like Rocco should at least give like um 20 minutes, or like the minimum. The minimum would be like 15 minutes, really. In my opinion, I don't think Ty Lue should be running three guards lineups, especially. I don't like the idea when he would run Powell and Gordon together. To me, Gordon and Powell, they're a really similar type of players. They're more of like a score first type shooting guard, which is you're pretty undersized. And Gordon, of course, he's a better 3 point shooter, while Powell, he's more of a better like a mid range guy or a foul baiter, but still same type of players. So what Ty Lue should do instead is get Robert Covington in for either one of them, like have them take turns, like instead of make Gordon 30 minutes, maybe get Covington in like some of his minutes, like maybe Gordon like I don't know, like maybe 25, 23 minutes, and then when Gordon like gets a little tired, get Gordon out, get Powell in, and you actually have a power forward. Robert Covington could help us with rebounding, and someone like if you need someone to hit a three, you could always wing it out to Robert Covington to hit a three because Nico Batum, he's pretty cold in terms of everything really. Um, at least he's a better defender than Marcus Morris, but Covington, I mean not Covington, I mean Batum, he even rebounding too. Like he was bad at rebounding as well too. Like straight up triple singles. Hopefully Batum Battalion could step it up. Um, but for now, I would definitely opt for starting Robert Covington as a power forward. And then another thing is that I would say that is starting to like age decently well. Well, not directly, but like the way how I vouch for our young guys, especially the guy who like especially the young Frenchman Diabate would who be just be getting sent to the G League despite him being a better um like 1 to 5 defender than Plumlee and even Ivica Zubac. Like well I'm talking about like 1 to 5 defensive wise because in this game we did so many drop coverage type defense and instead of just like our incompetent coach and our front office just having him like sit in the G League and maybe like it would have helped a lot if he got the full time contract and he actually got like rotational minutes even in the playoffs because those drop coverage type defense Diabate would actually do pretty well in just because how quick he is in terms of sliding his feet playing defense he he would always contest the shot a lot better like even towards the latter games of the seasons I thought Diabate actually did pretty good in garbage times, playing defense against um, like well-known bigs, like especially example Valanciunas and even Triple J from the Memphis Grizzlies. But obviously, playing Diabate is really far-fetched. But the most common sense thing is playing Robert Covington, and Ty Lue cannot even do that. Pretty disappointing. But But anyways, let's break down the Phoenix Suns teams. The Phoenix Suns players. Um, so again, the Phoenix Suns, like all the productions comes from the starters. Kevin Durant, 44 minutes, 25 points, like 5 assists, and then five, 6 rebounds. Like he had a lower scoring night. And then you got Devin Booker. That guy definitely went crazy. And this is just one simple consequences of, with Ty Lue running ridiculously small lineups. It kind of gives guys like Booker more of an opportunity, and like more of an opportunity not just because Booker directly, but um, it indirectly contributed to Booker dropping 38 points because when the Clippers go small, um, when Kevin Durant got the ball, he always got double teamed, resulting because the Clippers have a smaller lineup. And let's just say a guy like Gordon. Like Gordon cannot guard Kevin Durant 1-on-1. So they double KD and then KD just swings out to Booker. And he hits a three. Had maybe a guy like Covington played instead, you wouldn't need to double because Robert Covington always does his job on defense, especially on bigger guys like KD. And then And of course, some other things that you can't control. Chris Paul hitting his shots in the mid range. Um, and then, Ayton, he actually went 7 for 10, and he actually had a good rebound night. And another thing Clippers need to stop doing is just letting Torrey Craig just wide open from the three. Like, man, like, you know how we beat the Utah Jazz, right? The Jazz left Terrence Mann wide open from the three, and we won. But Ty Lue, he's kind of like repeating the same mistake, just literally leaving Craig like completely wide open. Like you don't have to like exactly play like extremely close defense on Torrey Craig, of course, but you could even try to have Torrey Craig shoot the ball more, but at least like try to somewhat like play defense, like not just like giving him like the most like wide open space. Torrey Craig is not like he's no Joakim Noah from the three. He's not Ben Simmons. He's not Lakers Russell Westbrook. Like he can shoot, man. He can shoot, and of course it also roots into um a very small ball lineup because again, a guy like KD, you get the ball, you get doubled just due to his bigger size, and pretty much the Suns bench they didn't really do too much. Biombo, he was actually decently solid. 5 rebounds and then 6 points. I mean, Okogie too, he was solid and 2 assists, but it's really the Phoenix Suns starters. Of course, I still definitely think the Clippers could beat the Suns in the series, and I'm like for biased reasonings, but at the same time, I genuinely believe it. I'm actually, I'm actually still decently confident that we could beat the Phoenix Suns because, end of the day, the Phoenix Suns they're just all starters really, and they don't really have the depth to compete with the Clippers' depth. But it all has to take from it all takes from Ty Lue to just simply make a simple adjustment, just actually adding some size rather than relying on all of our guards to just simply score because when you're doing like a mega small lineup, you're pretty much just throwing a mega prayer. There were some moments when, yeah, you could kind of justify the small guard lineup because the Suns did win ridiculously small when KD was on a bench. I remember Monty throwing, like, I think Booker, Chris Paul, Okogie, and I want to say Torrey Craig, and then Biombo. So the Suns did go small at times, so there are moments when like that, yeah, I guess you can go a little bit small at times, but when they have KD in, man, that's when you got to get a guy like Robert Covington on the actual floor and all that. But overall, um, it was decently expected that the Suns beat us, but this was just such a winnable game, man. And when that game is winnable, and many things that Tyloo could have done, it's still like you want to have a high standard. So of course I'm gonna be on the more critical side of the spectrum. But anyways, let me know how you're feeling about Game 3. You think the Clippers gonna like win both of the home games, or you think Phoenix will take Game 3, and then Clippers may take Game 4, or you think what are the Clippers done, or like the Game 1 was just a straight up fluke from the Clippers? Let me know what you think, and definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. And I would like to hear your guys' opinions as well too. Like, do you agree with my takes? Um, or like, do you have any like different type of approach? What would you do? But I'll be more than happy to chat with you on the comment sections if I could. Um, but anyways, thank y'all really much for tuning in, and I just want to say peace.